I am a firm believer that a job is not done until it's done, until it is 100% complete. I'm a believer in you don't count the chickens before they hatch, whatever other abstract statement you want to make to describe it. But you can probably put the champagne in the old Amazon queue or Safeway queue or whatever store you're going to. What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back and welcome in to a sweep post-game recap. The Mariners sweep away the Houston Astros 7-3 tonight in Houston. They improved to 87-69 on the season. As always, before I go any further, do me a favor, smash the like button, comment your thoughts on the team and the game down below. Like button's that little thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new or lurking. Over 4,000 views on yesterday's video. Thank you all so much. All the likes. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome to all the people that have been subscribed. If you're not subscribed and watching, you're welcome to come in as well. Hit that sub button, though. It does help out tremendously. What a statement series from the Seattle Mariners. Yesterday I was shaking because of how they won. Today, they stood on business today. Today was just taking care of it. Today was the finishing touches. They could have easily lost this game, and I'd be talking about this series being a huge success. They'd be in great shape to win the American League West. They went in there. They did what they needed to do. But a tired, exhausted Mariners team showed up today. Logan Gilbert delivers, and the offense delivers a 7-run second inning, which carries them to the sweep. That is a statement that championship teams make. One, doing it on the road. Championship teams get it done at home and on the road. I know it has been the best year for the Mariners on the road, but when it mattered, when it came down to the nitty-gritty, they found a way to get it done. And I don't want to say dethrone yet, right? Like, still think the Astros, are going to, if they can get healthier next year, we'll see. But that's how you do it. That is what you have to do to make yourself a champion, is to beat the team that's been in between you and that level. And that's been the Houston Astros. The Mariners weren't going to get away with it, not getting to play them, not getting to beat them this year. And to go into Houston and sweep this series is absolutely a championship level accomplishment. And it feels like a changing of the guard. Certainly feels like the changing of the guard for 2025. We'll see going forward, but that's what you do. Texas could not do that this week. Texas went into Houston. Houston stood their ground, right? That's a tough team. They're good at home. They've been there before, done it before. They kicked Texas the heck out of there. Seattle went in there and did the kicking. They did the kicking around. They were the team that, how many times do I compare them to that Seahawks team? And I'd said, when teams would kind of be hanging on, Seahawks would crush them. That's what the Mariners did this weekend. That is championship level baseball. And they did it in all three phases. Truthfully, this was not a close series. It really wasn't. The Mariners outscored the Astros by, I think, 10 runs in this series. The only inning where this series was kind of competitive was the 7th inning last night. And even that, I'm not taking away, but that grand slam was not exactly the most crushed grand slam we've ever seen in baseball. It happened, right? We would have taken, if the Mariners hit it, we'd be happy. So I'm not taking it away. But that was the only time where the Mariners didn't feel like they were in absolute 100% control of the series for one half of an inning on the road here. Just absolutely incredible baseball. Dan Wilson deserves credit. Jerry DiPoto deserves credit. The players obviously deserve a ton of credit. I think the starting pitching was fantastic this series. We have talked about it, that this team wants to get to that level. They had to get the pitching back into form, and it has been that way in the second half. Not perfect, but certainly this series is pretty perfect, but second half overall, not perfect, but definitely where you need them to be. And we know what this offense can do. Even the bullpen, we'll talk about it. I thought the bullpen for the most part was, outside of one swing by Jeremy Pena, was fine this series. I really did. And, today you avoid most of your top leverage arms as well. You got a day off tomorrow. Magic number now. Let's get into that a little bit. AL West magic number is 3. The Mariners sweep the Rockies, we're busting open champagne. If the Astros lose 2 out of 3 to the A's and the Mariners win 1 against the Rockies, they are AL West champs. Listen, I'm not a jinx person. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them when there's perfect games and no hitters. I don't believe that anything I say or do affects the team on the field. If it does, then that's on them. The Mariners are very likely going to be popping champagne for the American League West. I'm not jinxing it. They are. They're got to be 99% to win it. There's still work to be done. I'm not saying that rest on it and don't even, try and just go out there. Oh, it's just going to magically happen. but they're going to. They're going to pop open the champagne. This team will be winning the American League West this week for the first time in 24 years. We'll really celebrate it when it happens. But ladies and gentlemen, if this was any other team, if we were looking at this from the outside, would you think there's any chance? No, you wouldn't. Even if the Mariners go 1-5, Houston has to go 5-1. And the Mariners, I doubt, are going to go 1-5 on this homestand. Just highly doubt it. The magic number for the bye is now at 4. Detroit loses again today. Detroit and Cleveland are probably going to beat each other up. I don't even have the playoff magic number up because truthfully, Detroit, Cleveland are going to beat each other up. You're probably going to be in good position to clinch the AL West all at the same time. So I'm honestly not even really sweating the playoffs at this point. I don't even know how you'd miss it. I guess if you went 0-6 or something, there's probably some scenarios. But we're going to focus on the AL West and the bye. Obviously, if they somehow clinch a playoff spot before the West or anything, we'll celebrate it. But those are the two important magic numbers to keep an eye on for the Seattle Mariners, obviously. And that bye magic number is at 4. You're 2 games up on Detroit with a tiebreaker. Going to be a fun series, Detroit-Cleveland. I'm honestly, a week ago, I'd have been like, oh my gosh, I'm sweating that series out. I think that's going to be a fun series just watch from a baseball perspective now. It really shouldn't matter to the Mariners much one way or the other who wins that one. I guess probably go Cleveland because Detroit's a little closer to you, but you also have the tiebreaker on Cleveland as well. That's your magic number to clinch the bye. So very much everything right there for the Seattle Mariners. And when it happens, we will obviously be celebrating here. Again, still work to be done, right? It's not stop time. I want to be very clear. I'm not trying to come on here and say, oh, it's over now. Don't even try in the next 3 against Colorado. But the way this team is playing, I mean, it is all right there for them. I mean, this is just an incredible run this team is on. What a road trip, 5-1. That truthfully, if not for a Mickey Mouse Adam Frazier home run, I'm not saying Brash did not pitch well in that game, would have been a 6-0 road trip. I mean, that's the only thing standing between the Mariners and a 15-game winning streak right now, which is just absolutely absurd to say. And it's funny, they've kind of needed every one of these games, which is incredible as well. Like if they were 10-5 or 11-4 over this stretch, they might be on the outside looking in. So that makes this run all the more incredible that the Seattle Mariners are on. So, I mean, so much to talk about. I mean, you have Cal Raleigh hits 58 today. Like I said, they've won 14 out of 15, I think, right? Because it was 10. Then they lost 11, 12, 13, or is it 15 out of 16? I don't know. It's something crazy. Either way, it's absolutely insane what they're doing. They just went on the road and swept the Astros. The AL West magic numbers reduced. How about the Seattle Seahawks today? I might have to make an apology. I kind of said after the week 1, I did a video and I thought the Seahawks might be mediocre. 3 weeks probably shouldn't change a whole lot, but Seahawks do have the best point differential in the NFC as well. And I know the Saints are terrible. Yeah, and Seattle absolutely obliterated them. So Seahawks looking up and up as well. We'll stick to the Mariners, but excited about that as well. And depending on which side of the aisle you're on, a great weekend for college football as well, depending on your Apple Cup status there. So some of you probably a little upset about that, but others probably very happy. Just a tremendous weekend for Seattle sports. Let's get back to the Mariners here. Let me pull up the box score that for some reason I don't even have up yet here on today, and we'll go ahead and dive into it. I'm going to be able to pull it up here. There we go. JP, the Grand Slam right there on MLB.com. Beautiful, beautiful. Love it. That's right. You put the Mariners on the front page, MLB.com. Logan Gilbert, sensational today. All 3 starters this series were so good. Brian Wu was poised to go 7 or 8 innings in that game 1. He was, unfortunately, had to come out of the game. Probably hurt your bullpen a little bit there because he needed more out of it game 1. Otherwise, you've been set up so well game 2. Gilbert was great getting his 6 wins, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned on the Cole home run, 1 walk, 4 Ks. I had that 1 inning where the pitch count got up a little bit. Altuve and Correa had some long at-bats. But other than that, Gilbert was absolutely fantastic. So good to see him going deeper in the games because Gilbert's going game 1 or game 2. I don't know. Depends on where you line up and everything, but he will be pitching certainly early. So Logan has really kind of righted the ship on some of those outings where he couldn't get deep into the games. Caleb Ferguson struggled a little bit, gave up 3 hits and a run in his third of an inning. I will say Cole kind of just gets a single back up the middle. Dubon with a solid hit. He kind of struck out Altuve twice. I'm going to give the ump a break on the first one because I think it crossed Cal up a little bit. It didn't look like a strike, just was on the, pitch FX or whatever it is that they have there. The pitch, why can't I think of it? But you know what I mean? The tracer had it as a strike. And then Altuve did go around on that 2-2 pitch as well that wasn't called. Not saying Ferguson was good, but he probably could have gotten out of that. Vargas, inning and 2/3, gives up a run on the home run to Paredes, a walk and a strikeout. He does come into a big spot. It was 7-2, runners at first and third, one out there in the seventh, and gets the double play. That was huge. Paredes, good pull hitter, good stadium for him. He got Vargas once. Other than that, I thought it was a nice bounce back for Vargas after a rough one yesterday. And then Brash finishes it off in the ninth. Listen, I know that middle of the bullpen is going to be a question mark, right, for the Seattle Mariners with Ferguson and Vargas, because outside of Spire, Brash, Munoz, Bizardo, there's some questions in the bullpen. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if how much I fully trust Vargas and Ferguson here. Either, but you've got four that you really trust. I think you're okay. I don't think it's going to, I mean, how many teams bullpens are 6-7 deep? I'm sure there are teams that are better suited for it. I don't doubt that, but I don't know. And I didn't think they were that bad today. Maybe it's the win masking it for me, but Ferguson had Altuve struck out. If he gets that strikeout there, probably doesn't give up the run. Dubon and Cole got him. Vargas gave up one to Paredes. You're probably not going to see Vargas in too many super close games. So if he can do what he did there, he got the double play ball, which was great. I think they're okay in the middle of that bullpen. Like I said, I'd be lying if I said, oh yeah, I'm super confident. Here comes Vargas in the seventh inning of a playoff game. But I thought they were okay today. Like even yesterday, I'm not defending Vargas. He should have been taken out there. The bases loaded. But again, that Pena home run at an 0.50 expected batting average. I mean, it wasn't like the worst outing ever. It was just what went wrong. What could have gone wrong went wrong for Carlos Vargas. But the key is the starters. And Logan was fantastic tonight. Like I said, Wu, Kirby, and Logan absolutely did what you needed them to do all series long. Just fantastic. Offensively, the Mariners collect 8 hits, 2 walks, 7 runs in this one, all in the second inning. You'd always love to see them add on a couple runs, but if you're going to have 7-run innings, you can rest on the laurels a little bit in situations like that. Again, you'd love to see a couple add-on runs there, but if your best inning is going to be a 7, 8, 9-run inning, it's okay. Like if they had scored 7 and got 2 in the second, 4 in the, 2 in the fifth, 3 in the eighth, that's 7. None of us would have any complaint about it. And they added on yesterday as well. So it just happened to be they got them all in one inning today. I'm not, again, would like to see them add on, but I don't think it's like a big deal that they didn't necessarily. They pounded Jason Alexander, George Costanza, serenity now for Mr. Alexander. He'd been really solid this year. If you look at the StatCast page, it was not good for him, but it was getting results. You beat Hunter Brown, you beat Framber Valdez. Alexander, kind of the last stand, and the Mariners just absolutely destroyed the poor guy today. He had no chance in this one against that Mariners lineup. Astros bullpen did a good job. Blue Ball looks like a legit good prospect. He's going to be trouble in years to come. And then the rest was, whatever. So let's go ahead and dive into the Mariners offense. Randy 1 for 4. Good to see a hit from Randy. Ben Scuffling was in the middle of like a 1 for 25 or an 0 for 20 or something. So good to see him check in with a hit. Certainly want to see Randy get going a little bit here to finish out the season. Cal hits number 58 on the year, 60 very much in play. Rocky's not known for their pitching. That might be the understatement of the season. I mean, maybe 62 as I drop my pen there. Whatever, it's gone. Let's grab another one. I got to have something in my hand to twirl around here. Maybe 62 is in play. They come in bunches for the dumper. He gets them in bunches. I mean, he gets 1 or 2 on Tuesday, and we're talking about it. We're at least going in, with an opportunity. So 60, very, very possible. 62 would be a lot, but it's not completely out of the question. Just the historic season continues for Cal. Julio was 1 for 4. Josh Naylor 2 for 4 and a double, and that nice bunt single, which started the rally, a little small ball to get it going. Polanco was 1 for 4, infield hit. Kind of funny, that rally, that 7-run inning started with a Naylor bunt and a Polanco winging bunt, essentially. Leo Rivas came in defensively for Polo. He did kind of foul ball off his foot, I think, a little bit. Putting Rivas in is good defensively anyways, especially up by 4 or 5 runs. I'm assuming it's just precautionary. Polo finished that at-bat, looked fine, and then to get Rivas in for defense. Gino 1 for 3 with a walk. Gino on base twice. Dom was 0 for 3. Garver pinched hit was 0 for 1. Victor Robles 0 for 3, but a great at-bat. He had a walk, an RBI walk in that second inning. Bases loaded, 1 out after Canzone lined out. Astros thinking double play. Victor's a free swinger. Maybe you get out of that. Alexander gets out of that. It may change the whole complexion of the inning. Robles spits on, actually, the pitches weren't very good, but he still spit on him and managed to work a walk out of it and get the Mariners on the board. Great to see back-to-back games with a bases-loaded walk. Those are always great because, one, it just keeps that line moving, which is always fun. You always want to just keep that pressure on the pitcher. But another thing that's not too bad is grand slams. And J.P. Crawford hits the grand slam, his 12th home run of the year. Shout out to my wife. She watched that and called. Like, she's laughing right now. She called the Crawford grand slam. I'm watching it going, just get a sac fly, get this running, get up 2-0, get a couple runs. She's like, well, why doesn't he just hit a grand slam? I'm like, well, I mean, sure. Ideally, yes, you'd love every player to hit a home run, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then boom, JP hits a grand slam. I think she called Cal's home run yesterday too. So she should be doing she says she did. So she should be doing the videos. Apparently we should be making a lot of money on this. Why didn't you put $50? You could have bet live somewhere and put that on JP Crawford to hit a grand slam. I could have retired and celebrated a Mariners victory. It would have been the best of both worlds tonight for everybody involved. But great to see for JP. Love that he watched that one a little bit. I'm not going to lie. I was a little surprised the Mariners didn't see some retaliation this series. There was a lot of hit by pitches the Mariners hitting the Astros. None of it intentional. But JP watched that home run a little bit. I was a little worried that Cal, Julio, someone might wear one, off the butt or the back later in that game. I'm not going to lie. It ended up not happening. None of the hit by pitches were intentional. Why would the Mariners up by 2-3 runs trying to hit somebody? It just, happens, unfortunately. Wow. What a series. Something we have been, there's been some great games, right? I've been doing this now kind of 3.5 years. I did a little bit in 22. Got some videos up for that playoff series and stuff, but let's say 3 full seasons. There's been some great wins from the Seattle Mariners, some gutsy performances, but they've kind of lacked statements. Not saying they haven't, but they haven't made the playoffs in the 2 years I've been doing full-time videos. So it's hard to say they've had a lot of statement wins, right? Because at the end, it ultimately wasn't enough. This was the first one that just felt championship level to me. This felt like a team, and not like, tuning around horn. I said, I think they're going to win this series. I think they're going to go into Houston and win, because I don't just think they're the better baseball team right now. And I'll be honest, I don't know if Yordan Alvarez would have made a huge difference. I'm sorry. Clearly, obviously Yordan for the Astros is better than no Yordan for sure. Not saying he couldn't have had an impact, but I don't think Houston wins this series with Yordan Alvarez. I'm sorry. Call me biased. That's fine. I am biased, but I also, guys, you guys and gals know I do tell it like it is. If the Mariners are the Rockies, I will call out this front office, this ownership every single day until a winner is put on the field. I will make videos. We'll look at the prospects and we'll always have some optimism for the future, but I will call it out. No problem. If I was doing videos in 2010, 2008, I would have said Bill Bavasi is a joke. This ownership is a joke. This team with $100 million payroll lost 100 games is disgusting. But since I've done this Mariners team has been very competitive. They haven't gotten to where we wanted them to be, for sure, but they have been a good baseball team. And now you're seeing them turn into a great baseball team, a championship baseball team, a team that is the best team in this division, a team that absolutely has a case to be the best team in the American League. Do I know how far they're going to go? No, I don't. I don't have the crystal ball. If I did, it wouldn't be fun. If you told me right now, crystal ball, they're going to win the World Series, I wouldn't enjoy it as much because it's not fun knowing. It's part of what makes this so special is the not knowing. But I do know this. Yes, this team can win a World Series. It absolutely can. Will it? We'll find out. They can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the American League. And then would the Phillies be tough considering what they did to you in Philly? Absolutely. But you know what? We'll stress about that if we get to the World Series. We'll leave that. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I've had people tell me, well, I don't think they'd get past the Dodgers or Phillies. Okay. I'll stress about that when the World Series matchup happens. Right now, it's kind of day to day here. Let's get there. But you guys and gals know what I'm saying with that, I think you know what I'm getting at. What a series. Most fun I've had. Stress. The heartbeat is there. It's pumping a little bit. If you took my blood pressure right now, it'd be a little high. But that is I'm going to keep saying that's championship level baseball. That is how championship teams perform in the regular season. Times in Houston play the Mariners and win series like that. They were so frustrating for us because Houston came in and they stood on business because they were the better baseball team and they showed it on the field. And that's what the Seattle Mariners did to Houston this weekend. You can order it. You can put the champagne in your queue. Still business to be had. Still stuff to be done, right? It's not over. It's not what I'm saying. But you can put it in the queue, and we're going to have a lot of fun this week. Well-deserved day off for the boys tomorrow. Back at it Tuesday. Looking for that sweep against the Rockies and looking to wrap up the American League West and a bye before the playoffs begin. Soak it in. Enjoy it. Go watch the Seahawks game again because that was a ton of fun. Love Torrey Horton. And enjoy this series. Something special is going on here, and we're all part of it, and we're all in it together. And I'm going to be here for y'all. Win, we'll celebrate together. If a loss happens, we'll mourn together, but we'll get through it all together, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. Take care, everybody. As always, like, comment, subscribe. There's still a little work to be done. Let's finish this up. Let's celebrate, and let's go Mariners. Peace.